My name is Ted Kempf. I'm the Director for the Service Industries within Microsoft Dynamics. Microsoft goes to market in 6 key industries, and the service industries is one of those for which I'm the practice manager.
Could you tell us your views about the service industry today, and what are some of the drivers in the industry?
Well, the service industry is alive and well. The service industries is actually one of the largest industries in the world. I think sometimes it gets overlooked because people are focused, say, on retail or public sector or maybe manufacturing. But it is absolutely alive and well. And in the area of field service or service management, it is absolutely alive and well. We're seeing tremendous opportunity, tremendous demand in the marketplace, not just from firms who offer field service as a core part of their business, but also in the area of manufacturing, right? With that aftermarket service for manufacturing organizations has also really taken off, and a lot of companies are looking at doing a refresh of the systems that they've had in place, largely because they made investments maybe 8-10 years ago, and those systems are now old. The architecture was at that time quite good, but it certainly hasn't kept pace with where the market is today. So we're seeing a lot of activity, a lot of interest by firms in terms of what Microsoft and our partners have to offer.
What are your thoughts about Microsoft Dynamics AX and how ISVs are addressing the needs of the industry today?
I think the combination of Microsoft Dynamics with ISV solutions is fantastic. It is a strategic differentiator, in my opinion, in the marketplace. Microsoft Dynamics AX is an open system, and it has what we call a layered architecture. And we allow our ISV partners, as well as customers for that matter, to get into the application and to build in the same code structure that we build Dynamics AX. So when you buy a solution from Microsoft, an AX solution, if you will, for service management, that includes an ISV solution, that solution is literally an extension of Dynamics AX, meaning it's the same code, just built on top of AX. What's the advantage to Microsoft, and what's the advantage to our partners in doing so? It allows Microsoft to focus on the core areas of functionality that we need to build on every single day to make sure we've got that locked down. And then we look to our partners to add unique functionality to meet specific requirements of customers in the marketplace. If we at Microsoft had to take all that on, even though we spend about $10 billion a year in R&D, if we had to own that ourselves for every single industry, could we build it? You bet. How long do you think it would take us? Quite a long time. So by working directly with key partners, we're able to go to market so much faster with really high quality products.
How do you feel Dynamics software is addressing the needs of the service industry today?
Well, I think Dynamics software, like other partners that we have in the marketplace, is listening to their customers. They're listening to Microsoft, right? And we, as part of our practice, look at the market, look at what the requirements are to meet the market demand, and then identify the gaps. And then we talk to our key partners that are focusing in the area of service management or field service, and work with them to say, well, this is what we actually need you to focus on. This is what we're going to focus on. And to date, it's been a really, really beneficial relationship. We are bringing to market some of the strongest solutions to meet the needs of service management or field service that we're seeing in the market today. And this growth that we're experiencing within Microsoft and the growth that our partners are experiencing, I think exemplifies the strength of the relationship.
Ted, what advice do you have for Dynamics software and our solutions going forward?
My advice for any ISV, any technology company, it's the same advice for Microsoft, and that is that the market as a whole does not look at technology companies and value them from a legacy perspective, right, historically. We're only valued on the innovation that we've brought today. It is fantastic when we have a great day at the office, but we can't sit back and rest on our laurels at all, particularly in this space. We have to continue to innovate and move forward and keep our fingers on the pulse of what's going on. And quite frankly, I go back to the relationship that Microsoft has with our ISVs. The more people we have throughout the world that are looking at this industry, that are working in this industry, that are part of this ecosystem, particularly for my practice, the more knowledge we have, the better products we can bring to market, the more innovative we can become. And so my advice is just keep doing what you're doing, never stop innovating, drive forward.
Speaking of innovation, what are some of the trends you're seeing in the industry today?
There are really three major trends that we see impacting the area of service management or field service. That being mobility, devices, and collaboration. Allow me to kind of go through them in order. In the case of mobility, this is the business. These service professionals, these technicians, individuals in the field, they're out there working in a mobile capacity every single day. The technology has now advanced to the point whereby fantastic solutions can be built and delivered to enable these individuals to do things that they've never been able to do before in the field, and it's only going to get better. And I think that mobility will be a centerpiece for this industry over the next 2 or 3 years. The second major trend that we're seeing that's tied to the first one is this idea of devices. And we have a saying within Microsoft, our solutions, our ISV partner solutions, work best first on Windows devices, and we would certainly hope people would take a look at those. But we're not naive enough to think that firms aren't going to use other platforms in terms of a device strategy. In fact, a lot of companies have already made a massive investment in other platforms, iOS, Android. They have a strategy or a policy at their firm, bring your own device to work. So we have to work within that scenario, and we have to encourage our ISV partners to also work within that scenario to build their applications to meet the needs of these multiple devices or platforms. Now, that also ties into this concept of using HTML5 for building out your solutions, meaning when you use HTML5, you write it once, and no matter what the form factor is, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone, it will change based upon the form factor that you're in. So that's number two. The third major trend that we're seeing is this idea of collaboration. Many times, technicians, service professionals will be out there delivering service, and they need to connect with others in a very quick way, either to get maybe a manual or directions, or they simply need to talk to somebody within the organization who has done said work before, whether it's scheduled or on a break-fix type of an engagement. And so we are looking at and encouraging this concept of One Microsoft. We are seeing a lot of companies take a look at how can they use what would be considered a more traditional service management application for their core business and accentuate that with the investments they've already made in the Microsoft platform to really provide a valuable experience for the customer and the user, if you will, out there in the field.
Thank you, Ted, for sharing your thoughts with us today.
Well, you're very welcome.